national licensing, speed limits, etc. There was 2, 4, 6, 8 on those. There's quite a few on heavy vehicle, same colour and same writing, so whoever that... Great, but I think that's something that we could look at more as an association too, and we might need some representatives from our association to do more heavy vehicle things. Yes, looking at you. Yeah, that would be excellent. No, that would be great, and to use the banner whether we have a little... Yeah, okay, who else is heavy vehicle? Yeah, okay, so 4 in the room, great. So I think that's something that we can probably do better than what we do now. And then there was one around like a miscellaneous thing that had e-bikes and scooters, which are all good things. What happened with keys to drive? Can we do more with that? So there's a few miscellaneous things, but the main things were national road rules and stuff for us to chase up with service and transport.
Excellent. Right, so...
Oh, there's 2.
There is, so we can hand it to whoever wants to have a chat. So has someone got a suggestion or an idea that they would like to talk about now? Hang on, we'll get the mic to you, Jerry.
What do you mean? Oh, I've got too much to say.
Just potentially with these, is that on?
Should we? Let's take this one.
Okay, just potentially in these modern times, a bit of guidance of who could probably give us the best car insurance. Because different people say they won't insure driving instructors, and as we all know, the price has gone right up and some of us out of control. It's a bit of guidance. Is there someone that can go or someone they recommend?
Absolutely. You're fortunate that in the room, on the committee, we have someone that runs some insurance agencies. So Christine can certainly help you with that.
I'll give you a bit of a blurb. Thank you. So NRMA will take you on if you're a driving instructor. It is best to ring our office because we can take you on better than what other people at the call centre will, because they'll just say, no, we won't do it. There's a few things that you can answer a little bit differently, which will get us through to make sure that you're covered. All our driving school cars are covered.
So do you just like a number that reaches your personal office?
69 22 0000. Say, I'm a friend of Chris's. She said that you can insure my driving school car. Great. 6922 0000. Just to update you, we've gone onto a new enterprise platform, and some of the questions on there, if people don't read them correctly, the operators, it won't get through. So just ring us, we'll do it for you. Easy.
Do you have fuel control replacement cars?
Replacement cars? No, it'll only be a hire vehicle. It won't be a vehicle that's adapted with pedals.
Okay, because I've just been gone through that, and someone drove into my car while it was parked.
Yep.
And I'm with GIO actually.
Yes.
And they couldn't supply a vehicle.
Yeah.
So I found actually
There is one. Yeah.
a person in Rockdale.
Yes.
a
Yeah.
driving school.
Yes.
Which supplied me with a replacement car, fuel control.
Yes.
So
NRMA won't organise that for you, but they will pay you a per day rate for a hire vehicle, and that can go towards hiring. What's his name? He supplied.
Right choice.
Yeah.
Right choice, and it's Bupesh, who is actually
Bupesh,
he's actually a member of our association.
Yeah. And he's got great little cars.
He's just got a couple of new ones as well.
yeah,
There was one panel beater who supplies the car on the condition that you're gonna leave the car with them for the repairs. I think Fairfield area. I don't know. I've never dealt with him because I was chasing for somebody, and he said, "Yes, I'll give you the car, but you bring your car for repairs to me."
Okay, GIO put me on to a repairer.
Yep.
Luckily, it was straight away the next morning. Yeah. So I had to take a day off and then got it into the repairer or assessor the next morning, and yeah, that afternoon I got a car from Right Choice.
Yeah, great.
So that was so that would be.
We're the only ones, but if you want an option, and yeah, GIO looks like they're a good option too.
Okay, so you're basically the same, and then on the same base, kind of. So you kind of have your choice of repairer.
If you choose.
So, or you can choose your own.
Sure, yeah. It's an option when you take out your insurance, whether you want to choose your own repairer, and it rates it slightly differently than if you're just going to open up to an NRMA in preferred repairer.
Okay, yeah, there was no option with GIO, so I just had to go with them. Luckily, they had a cancellation at repairer, and I got straight in.
Okay, so there's some insurance options for you. All right.
Okay.
Anyone else got something that they would like to raise? Matthew?
An umbrella cover and a normal cover of PLPI, Chris? I know you did it yesterday. Can you do the umbrella cover difference on the
Umbrella
PLPI?
cover.
Or
It's been
Anthony?
recorded, that's all.
Yeah. We've got a few members here that are with AD, yeah, whatever, and they're not understanding the difference between the insurance that the ADTA offer is an umbrella cover as opposed to the individual cover that the rest of us get through Focus or Fenton Green or whatever. And the cost difference between joining the two associations, that's a factor that sways them to stay there or go there in the first place. But when they hear about the umbrella cover scenario, it's something different to them, for them to consider, where you're not actually individually covered, you're covered as a group. So Chris is...
So NRMA doesn't do PIPL, so just putting that out there. The policy that ADTA have at the moment is an umbrella cover, which is, it says it has a sum insured of, say it's 10 and 20 mil, but that's not per person. It is per calendar year. So if you have a year where you've got 10 people that have put claims in at $1 million each, and you're the 11th one, there may not be enough money for you under that policy. So it's not that you are covered for 10 and 20 mil, it's that that policy covers whoever is contributing to it up to that amount for that year. So it's just a little bit different wording, and hopefully there wouldn't be any claims. So if you were the first one, well, you'd get your 10 and 20 mil. But
basically, it's a pool policy. You're buying a share of that pool of insurance.
yeah.
But the problem with that is that, as Chris just said, if you're the 11th person, there's no money left for you.
Yeah.
So,
It's
The other one, sorry,
yeah.
is what insurance cover to get. So if you do safer drivers course, you've got to earn a different level of PL as opposed to not doing it. But
Yeah.
no one tells us that.
10 mil. I think there's only two.
I think you can get up to 20 million.
20.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's three.
10, a 5 and a 20.
You
Of,
can do a 5 and 10,
yeah.
you can do a 5 to 20, you can do a 10 to 20.
Yeah, but we need someone to say for us that aren't
Yeah. So
financial knowledgeable to put it in writing as to say, if you're doing this, we recommend that.
We must have 10, at least 10.
yeah. You'll all have your own contracts. If you're an SCC provider, they will tell you under your SCC contract what minimum amount of, if you've got an SCC contract, they'll tell you the minimum amount that you have to make sure that that contract works. I'm a franchisor for NRMA, they tell me what I have. You being your own person, running your own business, sole operator, is up to you to choose what you want. So if you wanted 2 and 5, you could do 2 and 5. If you wanted 5 and 10, you could do that. If you wanted 2 and 20, you could do that. It's up to you. Do you know the difference between PI and PL?
Hands up who doesn't know the difference, to be honest about it. So professional indemnity.
The PI part is PI part is professional indemnity, and that's in case anyone wants to sue you for advice you gave them, training you gave them. So, say for example, if a couple of years after somebody got a license, they had a crash, and through the investigation, it was shown that the crash happened because you told them that was what they should be doing on the road or whatever, and your training was negligent and incorrect. They could sue you for that, and that's what your professional indemnity covers you for. Public liability covers you for, if the kid was getting out of the car and they tripped over and sprained their ankle getting out of the car, your public liability covers you for that sort of thing. So 2 different aspects of what you're being covered for. Remember, it's not compulsory to have it in this state anyway, only if you're a contract holder for older driver assessments or safer drivers course. if I wasn't doing either of those two things, I would still have PIPL insurance
Yeah.
to cover my bum. I believe everybody in this industry should have it.
Yeah.
And for the sake of a couple of $100, like about $300 or just under, I'd be buying at bare minimum the middle tier. Because I figure you're only saving, I think, about $80 or something like that to buy the lower tier. So for the sake of one lesson, I may as well buy at least the middle tier, maybe even the higher tier. But
Yeah.
does that
Yeah.
answer that?
So there's also another type of liability that covers you with your car insurance. So that will normally cover you up to $20 million. So that is if you've got a learner driver, let's say the learner driver hits a telegraph pole, and I use this example at home a lot because we've got this big telegraph pole transformer thing outside the front of Maya. Just say they hit that telegraph pole, it falls onto Maya. Maya has to close their doors, it creates a fire, the electrical box goes out, the food at Woolworths, a couple of doors down, electricity's out for that whole block, all the food goes off. Up to 20 million, yeah. So we used to have 10 mil, had to go to 20 because there was incidences like that you hit a power pole and that's it. I've just hit a power pole. But all the consequential losses from that. Yeah, imagine, yeah. So there's the PIPL that Anthony's talking about, and then there's also the liability that comes from the incident itself, from the accident itself. So, and it's what you cause. Now, do you know the difference between compulsory third party and third party property damage? Yes, everyone. Yes. Oh, Harry's got his hand up. Excellent. You don't know? Okay. So, compulsory third party is part of your rego. That's the green slip. It covers injury. So if you get hurt. Whereas if you have a third party property damage policy, it covers property. So things that don't breathe. Whereas the compulsory third party covers if you lose an arm, eyesight, whatever. So it's more people. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, actually,
anyone that you injure.
Actually, I only just found out recently from my nephew hurting himself in a single motorbike crash. He dropped his bike, fractured his wrist, right? CTP actually covers him.
Yes.
So I always thought the CTP only covered other people you injure, but actually
It depends on the provider.
Crash, it may cover yourself as well.
Up until about 5 years ago, there was only a couple of companies that had at-fault driver cover.
Yeah.
It's now been legislated that everybody has to have a minimum cover. And then there's some that have a minimum cover and some that have good cover. So don't just shop your green slip on price alone. Look at, if I'm the driver at fault and I lose my eyesight, in some places you might get $5,000, in others you might get $50,000. So just have a look. If I lose my arm or a limb, so it's not just pure price on that. But I think it's now compulsory that every company has to offer a minimum of at-fault driver cover. Yeah.
Thank you. So, any other questions that you'd like to ask anybody here? This is yep.
Asking people about like booking apps that people use, good ones, bad ones, record keeping, all that kind of technical stuff.
Acuity. I use Acuity.
Yeah, I've used it too.
Booking times?
What was it called?
Acuity.
Yeah, that one that you told me about. And what was
Booking times.
booking times?
Good or bad?
And people using them are good, or are they good?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about like if someone wants to book a lesson in this place and then someone books a lesson in that place and it's like 10 kilometres away and then someone else books a lesson after that one and it's back there again, can you
There's a new
change it
feature on
around?
there now that you can actually, say if you choose 50 suburbs that you do lessons in, you can choose 10 at this time and another 10 at this
like
time.
block them
So you can really
into-
do that, which works really well. Say, for example, if you want to do your first lesson at home because you've got to drop your kids to school or something like that, it really works well.
Thank you.
I've been talking to a few people about another booking platform. One I use is called Book It Live. Book It Live.
I use that too.
What's so great about it?
Well, it does everything I needed to do. Lets my students see when I'm available, book the lesson, lock it into my calendar, pay for it, change it, reschedule, cancel.
Confirmations?
Sends out emails, sends out text messages to remind them. You can set when they go out.
Did you set it up for yourself, or did you have to get someone to help you?
So the people from Book It Live did like a training tutorial. So I was on a Zoom meeting for a couple of hours. They're in Melbourne. And I gave them a file with a bunch of clients I already had. So they set them up. And then the clients can reset their passwords. It's all one student per email. So if they've got a sibling, they've got to put in a different email, otherwise it'll go all under that same student. So.
And have you found it easier since using that?
Oh yeah, before I started using it, people were asking me, when are you available? And I was having to send emails saying, these are my times that I'm available. And they'd say, so how do I pay you? And then I'd have to send them an invoice. And then they wanted to change it, and then I'd have to get involved again. Now, I don't have to do anything.
Life changing.
Yeah.
So we use Book It Live as well, and also for the Safer Drivers course. So the 12 people are booked in, the different instructors, etc. We've also got a number of cars and a number of instructors, and you can set up different identities. So it might be Francine Auto manual if she's going to do 2 cars one day. Linda, like you can set up all your different identities, put your availability in for when you want to be available in those cars. So I've got 3 cars, 2 instructors. One of them will do seniors a day, the other one's available in both transmissions. Another one they both, Linda might do both transmissions, and then Francine's only got one available. So they just pick out which car they're in that day. So it gives you a bit of flexibility if you're managing more than one unit.
Yeah.
I just get it covered under my franchise agreement. So 6% marketing fee, a booking fee on each thing, and another 3% franchise fee and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's all covered under that.
We have a question over here.
Yeah, so I was just
Is
going to
that a
ask sort
blog?
of what sort of
Yeah, what
cost is Book It Live, or
Yeah.
from your point of view?
I'm paying about 2.5%.
What does that mean?
So if I charge $100 for a lesson, they take $2.50 out of it, and I'll make $97.50.
And is your situation, are you like a one-man show, or do you have a...
Yeah, I'm a one-man show, but I could scale it up if I get another driving instructor working under my booking page. I can put another instructor in there with their own calendar.
Yeah.
Does everyone have to pre-pay before the lesson, or can some people pay cash?
There's 3 options. They can pay with a Visa or MasterCard. They can choose the option called pay later or paid before. So if someone's to put money directly to me, or want to pay cash on the day, or they want to pay a bit later, by agreement, I might let them pay a week after the lesson or something, but I'm going to talk about it. And the third option is when they buy a package. So if they buy 5 lessons, they can pay for all those 5 lessons up front, and then they get a unique voucher code. And when they book the lesson, they use the code to pay for the lessons. And then that comes off their off their package. So you have 5, now you've got 4. You buy another one, or book another one, now you've got 3, and so on. So, but some people forget. They go, oh, I see that you've got already paid. Well, I've already paid. I bought a package. I've already paid. And that's okay, because I'll just go in and I'll update it, and I'll just show that it was a voucher rather than paid before, paid later.
And sorry, Danny, on that, does Book It Live in the back end also have a CRM, so it contacts like all the details of your learners that you are required to
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
That's also there?
All my clients are there. I've got all their details. Maybe not as much as I should from hearing things today about, and yesterday about ADHD and autism and how many hours they've done, and I feel like I'm under capturing some details at this stage.
Is that an option that you could
I can add that.
get them?
Yeah, I could get more.
Put a driving history or
When they create an account, I could get more. How many hours have you done, etc. Any concerns, open-ended boxes, yeah. But no, the CRM's pretty good. I can search by school because I get them to put in the school that they go to. So when I have a student from a particular school, I can quickly look up the other kids I've got from that school and say, do you know this person, this person, this person? That gives them a degree of comfort that I'm teaching other people they know. What was the other question? Was there another question? Okay. Yeah.
Just a quick one. Have you ever checked whether it's in compliance with Service NSW requirements, record keeping and all that stuff? So you've got it all there?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I think it does. If you look at the legislation of what we have to capture, name, address, driver's license number, telephone number, and then what car you did the lesson in. So yeah, I've got all that.
It's all. All right. Yeah.
So you would have to put those details in after, like you get their details and then you.
As part of the process, you go through all that information first. By the time you do the lessons, you turn up and go.
We'll try and use the microphone because we are recording so we can capture the voices.
Has anyone got a program where you can put all the driver's assessment in there? With all the details, where you've taken to and all that stuff, for the audit purposes?
Booking, yes. Lesson plan, yes. But not automated. You get scanned and sent off.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying, not the one that you report on portal, the page, but location where the clients
Yeah,
have
so
been taken
the
to.
normal lesson plan, yeah.
It's not sufficient.
Yeah, you'd have
You
to
need-
ask
you need
Linda
to
that.
put the
I know she
streets-
fills
you
in
need
a
to put the
form that
streets
she's
on it.
given,
Yeah.
and it gets, she scans it and sends
Yeah.
it off to wherever it gets sent off
All
to.
right.
I don't do oldies.
So not on the market? Anybody knows?
I
No?
do have one app that I use. Feel free to come and see me after.
Okay.
And I'll show you.
All right.
Righto, any other questions or inquiries or anything else? Anthony?
It's not so much a question, it was somebody put on one of those things about keys to drive or something. Was that person here that wanted to ask about that at all, or? No? It was something about the future of it or alternatives or something. Why was it canned? I have no more information. Even though I was a coach nationally, I don't know any more than the RAA decided, the AAA decided not continue with it and walk away from it. As far as I know, the government was going to keep funding it, but the AAA walked away from the program. But why I'm mentioning it? Oh, well, you may know more than me, and I'd love to hear more because I lost a job. What I do know, though, is in Victoria, they either have just launched or just about to launch what seems to be a very, very similar program called My Learners has been running down there for a while, but they're doing a My Learners free lesson where it's an hour and it's compulsory for the supervisor to attend, and I'm thinking that sounds all really, really familiar, so I don't know the full details of that. Maybe you know a little bit more.
So Victoria contacted me to give them some evidence base to what they were doing. So the My Learner lesson is based on keys to drive, but then they've kind of upscaled it. They've included a coaching component, so teaching instructors how to coach. I think I finished that project a couple of months ago, and they were rolling out the testing immediately after. But I was going to say as well, to whoever asked about keys to drive, I'm pretty sure if you're interested, we could get someone from Victoria DTP to come and talk about it. And I think it's a good idea to lobby for something to happen here.
I think it would be too. I wonder though, because it's subsidised as far as I know or paid for by the state government, that they're already going, hey, we just spent 10.9 million on the Safer Drivers course, we're not going to subsidise another thing. I'd like to be hopeful and say let's do it. I just don't know how far we'd get, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they can provide some data about how successful it is, and I believe that it will be successful, that might help your case, but yes, it costs a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Who was doing keys to drive lessons? Majority. And do you still use some of the principles from those lessons in your normal lessons?
Was before and still am.
Yeah? Yeah? Like find your own way, that kind of stuff? Yeah? Great.
Hey, I just thought I'd ask some more experienced driver trainers, which is everyone except for me. I've just started out. I've just got my accreditation automatic only, which I thought would suffice. I thought people don't drive manuals. What I overlooked is Mudgee is a mining town, and a lot of the young blokes want to drive the manual utes to work. So I need to go back and do another test in a manual and all that. Which I understand. My first customer, who didn't read my Facebook page very well, jumped out in the frosty morning and into a manual ute. I said, mate, I actually wasn't clear on whether I could teach him. So I compromised. I gave him an hour lesson. This was just the final check before he sat for his licence, and he got it. So I took him for a drive and I said, oh, look, I'm not clear on this. So I did it in a private capacity. I didn't even charge him. So that would be a strict rule, I guess, that I can't teach someone in a manual.
In that case,
I'll pass it on to Russell.
You're not licensed.
That's what I thought.
That you are only licensed to teach automatic only.
Okay.
Okay. If you were to go to the Service New South Wales and redo your driving instructor entry test, your DART, in a manual car, then your licence would be able to teach automatic and or manual.
but also, Russell, in this case, you covered yourself by not charging him.
Yeah.
Well,
what you did was,
That would have been illegal because you've received fee or reward.
Yeah.
So because you didn't receive any fee or reward, you didn't have to be a licensed instructor.
I thought I shouldn't take money. No.
Don't-
His mum was cranky. Should have taken it. He passed his test. No,
Yeah.
It's all right.
no, you did the correct thing there legally.
Yep.
And as far as your licence restrictions are concerned, that's the wherewithal.
All right. Thank you.
Well, good.
Another question I
Good
get
luck
is
out there too, but you should be doing about 80% manual, 20% automatic when you get fully going.
The other way around, maybe? 80% auto, do you think?
No, I reckon 80% manual. Yeah, he's at Mudgee. Yeah. Yeah, Bathurst is a city. Mudgee's a lovely town.
heading towards cityness very quickly. If that's
Okay,
the
so
word.
I'm guiding him the wrong way?
We have more.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So I will get that accreditation.
oh, please do. Look,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't do
'Cause
the
as
course.
I say, I forgot about all these tradies driving the
You
buses.
don't do the course again. You just do an upgrade,
Yeah.
which is an entry test. You don't need to do your DKT
Yeah.
computer knowledge test again.
Good.
It's just your 95% in a driving in the manual.
Okay, my other question from a novice's point of view is when the student says, especially the last test or whatever, I'd like to do it in the car that I'm going to use, which might be their car or whatever, no problems with that? To go in their own vehicle? There's obviously no safety.
Just make sure it's insured.
Oh, yes, yeah.
They,
No, it's not turbo. That rule changed. It's power to weight ratio. 130 kilowatt per tonne.
Okay.
Saw a learner doing their driving test on a Ferrari 360 one day. Good on him.
Son of a bitch.
Couldn't drive it home after he passed, but anyway.
I was more just thinking the lack of brake pedal or safety features, which is obviously not in a civilian's car, is still covered in that respect.
You do need to check on your public PIPL insurance, because there was a thing with David spoke at our conference several years ago about whether your PIPL insurance covered you in a private vehicle. Now, I don't use private vehicles personally. I stepped away from that years ago.
Okay.
Due to I didn't want to lose any more hair. And so
Understandable.
I only do lessons in my car.
But I do remember there was something David had mentioned about that. David Federici is the guy that sells the PIPL on our behalf, and I would just double check the details of that. That's all I would suggest, and ask for proof of insurance of their vehicle, so you know the car you're going out is insured.
Yes.
And crucially, check that the car is registered. Might sound logical, but so many instructors don't do a quick rego check on the service app.
Yeah.
Check on the service app that the car's registered.
All right.
While you're there, we've got the mic. Now keep it. Just explain to them that their vehicles should all be commercially. Get rid of your pension vehicle. Your driving school car should be commercially registered.
Well, business registration. Yeah, so if your car's not business rego, it must be business rego. Insurance, though, different matter. Yeah. Apparently the insurance company doesn't worry about if it's business insurance. I don't know if you're... But they actually are happy for it to be a private insurance. NRMA changed mine to private and said I'm still covered.
And you make sure he gets his money.
I have been under my name. Under my name. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for your answers.
You want this?
They seem to judge that on whether you're GST registered or not.
Yes, that's right. I'm not GST registered.
Yeah.
If you're not GST registered, they can do private, but if you are GST registered, it's a business. One up here, sorry. Because it's a business.
The same with the medicals. I've got to put my hand up, I'm just going through it all. Driving instructors are classified as commercial medical tests for your doctor when you get to the magic age. There's not many of you here by the looks of it, which is good. So cutting in at age 70 for any MC drivers, 80 for any HC and down to LR drivers. Car drivers would be 85, but you will be then subjected to a medical examination by your doctor at a commercial level, not a private level. Now that means your field of vision must be greater. Your peripheral lateral vision must be 140 degrees instead of 110. I'm falling into the situation at the moment that I cannot meet 140 degrees. So I would suggest that in the very near future, I will not any longer have a driving instructor's licence because I cannot meet the medical requirements. So just be careful as you go on through life. Please keep your checks going. They do class as we're not professional drivers. We are commercial drivers, so we don't get that extra point on our 13 to 14 demerit points. We're still classed as a normal driver there. Little things like that have changed. OST roads, that's what I was saying before. OST roads are going through a great changing of the licensing scheme at the moment. We'll see more of that next year. That will change heavy vehicles in particular, but also road rules and so on. But the medical has caught me out this year by the looks of things. So.
It's not just the older stuff though, Russell, it's even, I have to have an annual medical to sleep at because I come under commercial.
As soon as you've got a machine, what they've done, they've introduced atrial fibrillation, which is erratic heart beating, glaucoma, field of vision. You can't just do the field of vision like this. It must be on one of the pinpoint light machines and so on. sleep apnea machines are included now. All the sort of things that changed in July 22 or 3, something like that. Any questions on that that I can help with? Okay. You got your hand up, yeah.
As a commercial instructor, for those of you that don't know, I've got amputated toes. That puts me into that category. But so does diabetes. So does the heart disease. So for 10 years, in fact, it took me 3 years to get my instructors through, because every time I got a specialist clearance, they say, can we get one off the other specialist? I'd wait 6 months to get an appointment with them. And this time every year actually, because I said to the guys I mightn't have my licence because I was having some issues last year. So it's not just your age, as Russell said. If you've got any medical issues, and we're all getting to the age, you know, John over there would know that as well, that you're going to get the letter from them saying, go and see this specialist, go and see that specialist before we reissue your licence. And on the insurance and the registration of your car, my car is registered in my business name with my personal name under it, and they only charge me as private. As far as I'm concerned, I've disclosed it to them. If they only want to charge me private, that's up to them. And the same with the insurance. It's comes through as private.
On the medical stuff, could I maybe suggest to somebody on the committee that maybe just downloading
they'll get it eventually.
to drive guidelines that we fall under for commercial drivers, and maybe whether that's a post on our Facebook page, a link on our website, whatever it is, so that everybody that may have some medical condition, they can have a look and go, oh Jesus, okay, that's going to be me next year for my renewal or whatever.
Readily available.
Yeah, the Austroads medical guides, they're all very easily available. You can just download them. But for all the gentlemen that are in this room, and I'm one of these people, we're not very good at going to the doctor. So when you get to the older ages, or you've already been pinged with something, it forces you to go to the doctor every year. And while you're there, get the rest of the oil change done too. So get your blood tests and all these other things done. But the reason I've grabbed the microphone, I'd like to show everybody a couple of videos that I made a very long time ago. It's about blind spots. I know you all talk about blind spots with your students on their cars. But as you probably all realise, I'm a heavy vehicle driver trainer. I work for DHL. I'm their internal driver trainer. So what I'm going to show you in a bit is actually the blind spots we have where I'm going to make cars disappear. The whole car. And I'm not going to move it. So I'll hand this off to somebody else if anybody else has got questions, and I'll get this set up.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to go back to just talking about manuals and automatics. I'm from up in Goulburn, so the first vehicle I bought 2015 was a manual. I've still got that car presently, then bought an automatic end of 2020. The automatic's done 91,000 Ks. The manual's sitting on about 107,000. So I've seen a big change in manuals and automatics even out in the country. Just recently, the manual didn't do a lesson for 2 weeks actually, but it has got a few booked in now. So I've got to the point the car probably should be replaced, but viably, I just don't think it's going to be there, the business for it. But even talking about utes, I mean, a lot of utes are now coming out with not even a manual option as well. So.
And the same with the bigger, heavy vehicle stuff. Can't get the road ranges.
That's right. Yes. Yep. Automatic. Yep. Probably 3 or 4 years ago it was probably 45, 55 automatics, but now, yeah, it's probably 80-20, I think, to automatic. So, yeah, it's been a big change just in a few years, really.
With the, like the country metro and so on, because we used to teach, people would say, what should I do?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you should get a manual licence.
Yeah.
Do it. Even if you borrow the car to go up and do the DK, the DART test in, do it in a manual so you can teach all your students, not just
60%, 40%, whatever. And now you're suggesting that with Bathurst, with Goulburn, both good big cities, possibly 50-50. Close enough?
Oh, no, automatic. Well, more automatic. I think a lot of people
80%
look at
autos now.
autos.
Okay.
I think a lot of people think, why put myself through a manual driving test when 12 months later I can drive whatever I like?
Okay.
There are still companies
Which-
that
which-
want them to have a manual license, but
Yeah.
not demand.
Which I don't agree with anyway. I mean, I think you should be tested in a manual if you want to drive a manual, really. But anyhow, that's out for debate as well.
Okay, we might put this video on because we want to watch this race, I think, at 3 o'clock. So who's going to win. So here, I'll just pass this mic on.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Oh, what did that do? No, it's just me rotating it. So if everybody would like to look at the mirror on the far side of this truck, when I stop rotating my phone, will be fabulous. And if you look carefully, you should be able to see a dark blue car. This is a cab over truck. This truck has no bonnet. That's one. Sorry. It's a flat fronted truck. So I'm going to press play, and you should be able to see, as I said, you should be able to see a dark coloured car there. And I should rotate the camera in a sec so you can see out the windscreen. And then I'll climb out of it. So it is a bit shaky when I'm getting out of the truck. So anybody that has movement sensitive issues, just close your eyes a sec. The reason that doesn't stop is that it's to show that what we actually can't see and what has not been doctored. That car did not exist. There's the dark coloured car, but the silver car does not exist in what I can see in my mirrors. So that's one video I have. And if I'm good. That one, nothing wrong with that one. No. That's correct. So this is a truck that I used to drive as well. That Corolla I'm about to make disappear. Again, please note that I'm not right up hard against it.
Oh, so you're not driving on the
No. Not this time. I'm actually in Botany here. And again, I'm very sorry for the people that don't like the shaking camera. Somebody a little while ago that was down Sutherland Shire, probably 5 years ago, came across me and I actually grabbed their student. They were a car student. Where's the Corolla? It's not there. I'm going to lift the camera in a second. You'll see that the car is actually still there, by the way. Please pass this on to your students. We can't see them. They don't exist. So if they pull in front of us really quickly, or somebody was showing me yesterday a video, there might have been, actually it was the gentleman from Transurban. I think he had a video with a car cut in front of the semi-trailer. We don't know you're there. We have no idea.
That's the same with the pedestrians.
Oh, it's the same with the pedestrians. It's the same with a lot of things. The bonnet on that second truck would be about this high off the ground. So I can actually hide behind it.
I educate my clients that if they need to identify whether the driver of the truck is clean shaven, bald, got hair, wearing an orange or yellow high-vis shirt. If they can identify that feature, then they know the driver can see them.
Correct.
If they can't identify anything about the driver of the truck, they don't know they're there.
No.
Simple as that.
So I'm hoping that just gives everybody a bit of an idea about what we see as heavy vehicle drivers, as commercial drivers, because we're a long way up there, and if we hit you, we actually don't feel it.
Horrifying.
Yes, it is actually.
Thank you. Okay. We're at 10 minutes. So is there anything else that you would like to discuss? Is there anything that you would like to see the committee do? My question to you is our age-old question of how do we increase this membership? What can we do to increase the membership to get... I think you'll see that we got value out of the last 2 days. I certainly think that the quality of the presenters was fantastic. The feedback has been terrific. So we're going to continue to do this, but what we want to do is get it out to as many people as possible. So as I said yesterday, if there's 4,300 driving instructors in New South Wales, and there may be, 2,000 that would be probably active, maybe, we capture about 180 at the moment. So we want to get the membership up, we want to get this professional development and all this new information out to people, and as many people as we can. And the only way we can do that is if you be our champions, I've said this before, and go out and talk to people and tell other driving instructors, and hey, we just went to this 2-day conference that the New South Wales DTA put on. It was fantastic, if that's what you think. Let them know. So that's my challenge to you. The association's challenge is membership. So we need everyone to help, and if you can do that, that's my plea to you. But is there anything else that you would like to see us do? Excursions. Yeah. Okay, so we used to do
we
them.
went to Crash Lab and the traffic thing.
Yep.
I remember when you used to write in the newsletter about training tips.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, see, when I was a new driving instructor, I really liked those.
Yeah.
So I'd like to.
Having said that, that was relying on one person.
Yeah.
Nobody else ever did anything, and that was very draining on that one person that had to do all that sort of stuff, right? So talk to these guys, because that then requires, like the Panthers guy said yesterday, the right people in the right team to do what they're supposed to do. Because I think there's a wealth of experience within that industry.
You can take over the totes. Oh, come on.
So, and so probably to answer the question you're asking from my point of view, I think you ran a couple of like Zoom or whatever webinar type workshops with people, because hard physically getting people there.
It hasn't happened for a little bit now. I think maybe 6 months or more or something. I think maybe. So maybe another one of those could be a good idea to get a couple of people involved that can't take the time off work or whatever, or regionally can't travel.
Sure. Definitely take that on board, and it's something that we had discussed not so long ago in any case. So they seem to work. I mean, if COVID did anything, it made us a little bit more connected through Zoom and all this sort of stuff. So. Here, I'll take it.
I can fully appreciate what Anthony says, because I can see the work that he's done previously, and I can see everything else. And we're probably talking to the wrong people, because you're all here.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the ones that aren't here we need to get a bit more involved. But at the moment, when you consider that Dave does an enormous amount of work, Chris does so much work that you'll never know about. Peter, doing the treasury job since he picked it up, is doing a whole heap of work, and he's doing bits and pieces that I was trying to do when Karen disappeared. It's a voluntary job. We're all sole operators trying to feed our family as well. So the more people that want to write an article, it's easy enough for Peter or I to put it on the system, or get Sholtech to put it on the system, or Harry will help us out if we ever call him. But to sit there and do the type of things, run workshops all over New South Wales, and it's just, apart from the regional workshops and the Zoom thing, as Anthony said, was a good idea, and we plan to do that. But even that, of the 180 members, we had 40 registered, but only 25 actually logged in on the night. I wasn't there, I was on holiday, so I wasn't one of them. So I understand some people would have been on holidays, because I was. But I actually tried to log in from a plane going overhead at 40,000 feet, and the signal wasn't strong enough for me to get in. We had a bit of a joke about that afterwards. But yeah, as I said, we're talking to the wrong people here, because everyone sends us stuff to say, we want this, we want this, we want this, but they're not the people that are sitting here, that put the money in to come out to see what we're doing. But whatever help, put your hand up. You want to write an article? Sue's asked me if she can send some stuff. Great, send it through. We'll get it on there.
I will say though, I've seen faces over the last 2 days that I've never seen before. So I was saying that to somebody yesterday, I think it was, that there's always the same old faces you see at these conferences, because they're the people that dedicate to come. But there's people here that I haven't seen before, and I think that's fantastic. Whether it be a new driving instructor, there was a guy I was talking to yesterday, he's only been in the industry 5 months, awesome. They're the people that we also need to get through to, because they saw the value in joining when he started 5 months ago, and he's come along to a conference, and you go, sweet, how do we get more of him? That's, I don't know the answer to the question. But
Yeah, we had 3 non-members, well, we had more than that non-members here, but 3 of the non-members that were here have joined.
Oh, fantastic.
Straight up. They've already paid their join.
Oh, done.
They've done, see, they were in, some of them are, well, there's one here. Oh, actually,
And Matthew, you're so right. You know, we're talking to the wrong people here, but by talking to you, you see other driving instructors at the registries, and I said it yesterday, and I said it last night, and I've said it over and over again, is networking. And that's what I wanted this conference, the theme of this conference to be, that we share information, we talk. So get out there, network with other driver instructors, tell them about us, if you're happy to do it. I mean, we feel that we are getting the right information out. We're ramping things up a little bit, so hopefully, we can provide that professional development to so many more people to make it a better industry.